Have you ever wondered why your dreams feel so far away, even though they live right inside you? Why your goals remain untouched, waiting, while comfort keeps you trapped in the same place? The truth is this: your brain will always choose what is easy. But greatness is never born in ease. It is forged in struggle, in discipline, in doing what you resist. If you want a life of strength, freedom, and purpose, you must learn the art of forcing your brain to do hard things. Stay with me, because today you will discover how. Sit down for a moment. Close your eyes if you wish. Breathe deeply. Feel the air enter your lungs, and let it remind you you are alive, you are here, you are present. Now ask yourself, why is it so easy to do what is comfortable but so difficult to do what is necessary? Why do we as human beings often choose the softer path even when we know that the harder path is the one that leads us where we truly want to go? The mind, this powerful tool, has two faces. On one side, it gives us the ability to imagine, to create, to dream of a better life. On the other side, it tricks us into believing that comfort is safety and safety is happiness. But comfort is not happiness. Comfort is a slow poison. It keeps you alive, yes, but it does not allow you to truly live. Think of a river. When it flows freely, it is alive, powerful, unstoppable. But when it becomes stagnant, it begins to rot, to decay, to stink. In the same way, your life loses its energy when you stay too long in comfort. Movement is life. Growth is life. Struggle is life. Your brain is like a wild horse. It wants to run freely, but it does not want to be guided. It seeks the easy way, the smooth ground. But a horse that is never trained remains wild and dangerous. It cannot carry you where you need to go. Only when the horse is disciplined does it become your greatest ally. The same is true for the brain. Without discipline, it throws you off again and again. With discipline, it becomes unstoppable. And here is the paradox. Freedom does not come from doing whatever you feel like. True freedom comes when you can command your mind, when you can direct your thoughts, when you can force yourself to do what is hard, especially when you do not feel like it. Imagine for a moment. What would your life look like if every time you felt resistance, you smiled and stepped forward? What would your destiny become if you did not let comfort decide for you, but instead forced your brain to do what was necessary, no matter how hard? This is the first truth I want you to remember. If you always do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you are willing to do what is hard, your life will eventually become easier. Becky, close your eyes for a moment and think about this. How many times have you told yourself, I will start tomorrow, or I will do it later, and then tomorrow never came. Later never arrived. This is the voice of resistance. It whispers softly in your mind, convincing you that delay is harmless, that rest is more important, that you deserve comfort. But understand this clearly. The brain does not resist because it is weak. It resists because it is designed to protect you. For thousands of years, survival depended on avoiding pain, conserving energy, and staying safe. When your ancestors saw a challenge, their brain told them, don't risk it, don't waste your energy, don't face danger. That instinct saved lives in the past. But in today's world, where growth, success, and fulfillment come only from challenge, that same instinct becomes your greatest enemy. Resistance is not laziness, resistance is fear. It is the fear of failure, the fear of discomfort, the fear of stepping into the unknown. The brain prefers certainty, even if certainty means staying small, staying stuck, staying unfulfilled. Think of this like fire. Fire can keep you warm, but if you fear it and never touch it, you will stay cold. The same applies to resistance. It is not meant to stop you, it is meant to test you. Every time resistance rises, it is a signal. It is a sign that you are standing at the edge of growth. It is proof that what lies on the other side is valuable. Do you notice what happens when you avoid hard tasks? The resistance grows stronger. You promise yourself, I'll do it later, but later it feels even harder. You train your brain to believe that its excuses are valid. You strengthen weakness. But the opposite is also true. Every time you face resistance, it weakens. Every time you push through, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your fear. You strengthen strength. This person does not run from resistance. They lean into it. They welcome it because they know that the heavier the resistance feels, the more growth is waiting on the other side. Just like the weightlifter who grows muscles by pushing against heavy resistance, your mind grows stronger only when it pushes against the weight of discomfort. So the next time your brain whispers, stay in bed, or skip the workout, or don't take the risk, pause for a moment. Do not fight the voice with anger. Simply recognize it, smile at it, and say, thank you for trying to protect me, but I no longer need protection. I need growth. And then take action, no matter how small. This is the secret. Resistance is not your enemy. Resistance is the proof that you are on the right path. The greater the resistance, the greater the transformation waiting for you. And only those who walk through resistance discover the true strength hidden within themselves. Motivation is like the wind. Sometimes it blows strong, sometimes it disappears completely. You wake up one morning full of energy, ready to conquer the world. But the next day the motivation is gone, and suddenly the bed feels too warm, the road too long, the challenge too heavy. If your life depends on motivation, you will forever rise and fall with its unpredictable waves. This is why you must build something stronger, something unshakable. Discipline. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your results. It is the structure that carries you across the gap between who you are and who you want to become. Without discipline, you stay stuck on the shore of dreams. With discipline, you walk across that bridge step by step until the dream becomes reality. Understand this. Discipline is not about punishing yourself. It is not about living without joy. Discipline is about alignment. It is about saying, I will act not because I feel like it, but because I have chosen it. I will act not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. Imagine a warrior. The warrior does not wait to feel courage before entering battle. He disciplines himself to move forward, even when fear is present. Imagine a musician. The musician does not wait for inspiration before practicing. She disciplines herself to repeat the scales daily until mastery is born. Imagine a monk. The monk does not wait to feel peace before meditating. He disciplines himself to sit in silence until the peace arrives. Discipline is stronger than feelings. Feelings change with the weather. Discipline creates the weather. When your alarm rings in the morning and your brain whispers, 5 more minutes, discipline answers, no, get up. When your body says, this workout is too heavy, discipline replies, do 1 more rep. When your fear says, don't take the risk, it's too dangerous, discipline steps forward and says, I choose to move anyway. Do not misunderstand. Discipline is not something you are born with. Discipline is something you create. Every small act of consistency is a brick. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you place another brick on the bridge. And brick by brick, day by day, you build the path that will carry you to your future. Ask yourself, which life do you want? A life ruled by temporary feelings or a life guided by strong decisions? The difference is simple. Motivation is a guest. It visits, then it leaves. Discipline is a companion. It stays with you, it grows with you, it protects you. Remember this truth. You will never always be motivated, but you can always be disciplined. And when you are disciplined, you no longer depend on the changing winds of emotion. You walk forward, steady, calm, unstoppable. Discipline is not a prison. Discipline is freedom. It frees you from the slavery of weakness, from the chains of excuses, from the lies of comfort. Discipline is the bridge, and once you choose to walk across it, nothing can stop you from reaching the other side. Think for a moment about the human body. When you want your muscles to grow stronger, what do? You give them resistance. You lift weights. You push against pressure. You stretch beyond your comfort zone. And the body responds. It tears, it heals, and it grows back stronger than before. Now reflect. Your mind is no different. It is a muscle, and like any muscle, it becomes weak if you never train it. If you always avoid the hard tasks, your mind learns to surrender easily. It becomes fragile, soft, unprepared for life's challenges. But when you force it, little by little, into the difficult, it transforms into something powerful, resilient, unbreakable. Most people believe that they must wait until they feel ready. But the truth is, you will never feel ready. Readiness is not the starting point, it is the result. You become ready only after you train. You develop strength only after you struggle. You build resilience only after you endure. Start small. Do not expect to master your mind in a single day. Just as no one becomes strong by lifting the heaviest weight immediately, you must begin with small challenges. Take the cold shower when your body cries for warmth. Speak the truth when silence feels easier. Read the book when the screen calls louder. Finish the task when your mind says, leave it for tomorrow. Each of these is a repetition. Each of these is a set in the gym of the mind. Every time you complete one, you place another layer of strength within yourself, and soon what once felt impossible will become natural. The task that once felt overwhelming will feel light. But here is the secret. You must embrace discomfort, not avoid it. Growth does not live in the comfort zone. Comfort is where your brain becomes lazy, where your potential goes to sleep. Discomfort is where life sharpens you, where your character is forged, where your greatness awakens. Quote, "Inside are the seed buried in the soil. For it to grow into a tree, it must break through the hard earth, push against gravity, stretch toward the sun. Without that struggle, the seed remains buried, unseen, wasted. You are the same. Your potential will never rise if you avoid pressure. It will never awaken if you run from hard things." This is why training your mind is not about punishing yourself, it is about preparing yourself. Life will test you whether you like it or not. Pain will come, challenges will arrive, storms will appear. The question is not whether you will face them, the question is whether you will be ready. So train daily. Train in small acts of courage. Train in small acts of discipline. Force your mind into the uncomfortable, not because you enjoy the struggle, but because you love the strength it brings. When the day comes that life throws you into the fire, you will not burn. You will rise because your mind, like a well-trained muscle, has been prepared to endure. Think about a drop of water falling onto stone. One drop means nothing, 10 drops mean little, but thousands of drops falling again and again carve a hole into the hardest rock. This is the power of repetition. What seems small in the beginning becomes unstoppable when it is done consistently over time. The same law applies to your mind. A single act of discipline will not change your life. One workout, one day of focus, one moment of courage. These are important, but they are not enough. Transformation happens when you repeat those actions day after day until they become part of who you are. Repetition creates identity. If you repeatedly choose comfort, you become someone who avoids growth. If you repeatedly choose excuses, you become someone who cannot be trusted by your own self. But if you repeatedly force your brain to do hard things, something shifts. Slowly, silently, without you even realizing, you begin to change your identity. You no longer ask, "Can I do this?" Instead you say, "This is who I am. I do hard things." Think of the monk who meditates every morning before the world wakes. At first, his mind runs wild, restless, impatient, but day after day, he returns to the cushion, and slowly, the mind begins to obey. The repetition carves stillness into his being. Think of the athlete who trains before sunrise. At first, her body aches, her lungs burn, her muscles scream, but day after day, she laces up her shoes and runs again. And slowly, her body adapts. The repetition carves strength into her frame. This is why you must not be discouraged by slow progress. Repetition is not glamorous, it is often boring. It is the same effort repeated again and again, but that is where mastery lives. The world celebrates results, but it is repetition that builds them. Do not chase perfection, chase consistency. The person who does one small hard thing every day will go further than the person who does something extraordinary once in a while. It is better to do 10 minutes of deep work daily than to wait for the perfect day to work for hours. It is better to move your body a little every day than to wait for the right mood to exercise. Small, repeated acts create massive transformation. And here lies the beauty. The more you repeat, the easier it becomes. At first, the brain resists. It screams. It fights. But with repetition, it learns. It adjusts. The heart becomes familiar. The unfamiliar becomes normal. And one day, what once felt impossible now feels natural. So remember, greatness is not built in a single moment of passion. It is built in countless moments of discipline. It is built in the repetition of hard choices day after day until your mind and body have no other option but to transform. Repeat, repeat, repeat until your brain no longer resists but obeys. This is the power of repetition. Now we arrive at the final truth. The mind is not your enemy and it is not your master. It is your servant. But most people live their entire lives enslaved by the very servant that was meant to serve them. They obey every thought, every excuse, every whisper of comfort. And as a result, they remain small, unfulfilled, and trapped in cycles of regret. Listen carefully. The brain's job is survival. It seeks comfort. It avoids risk. It clings to what is familiar. But your purpose is not simply to survive. It is to thrive, to grow, to rise beyond mediocrity. If you let your brain rule you, it will keep you safe but stagnant. If you train your brain, if you force it into the direction of discipline, it will not only serve you, it will elevate you. Think about resistance once more. Every time you feel it, you have a choice. You can turn away, return to the cage of comfort, and live the same year again and again. Or you can step forward, walk through the fire, and discover the freedom that lies on the other side. Growth demands a price, but the price is worth paying, because on the other side of difficulty lives strength, wisdom, and peace. What is the greatest tragedy of human life? It is not failure, it is not loss. The greatest tragedy is to reach the end of your days and realize you never truly lived, that you always obeyed the voice of comfort, that you allowed fear to dictate your choices, that you denied yourself the joy of growth because it was too hard. So do not wait for the perfect time. Do not wait for courage to magically appear. Do not wait until you feel ready. Begin now. Begin today. Take the smallest step into the uncomfortable. Force your brain to sit with discomfort and you will see. It does not destroy you, it builds you. Each time you act despite resistance, you reclaim a piece of your freedom. And here is the beauty. One day, after many repetitions, after many battles with your excuses, you will notice something has changed. Resistance is still there, but it no longer controls you. The voice of weakness is still there, but it is quieter. The voice of strength has grown louder, and in that moment, you will realize you have mastered your mind. Remember this final truth. Resistance is proof of growth, discipline is the bridge, repetition is the path, and freedom is the reward. Force your brain to do hard things, not because life is cruel, but because you were not created to stay small. You were created to rise. You were created to grow. And you were created to discover that inside you lives a strength far greater than you ever imagined.